Media Create. So for those who don't know, I report on sales data at this channel. Talk about MPD data, comes out once per month. That deals with the United States. And then sometimes I talk about the UK charts. I don't talk about them often because, the sales numbers aren't huge there. But I talk about them when it's relevant, especially when there's new Nintendo games released there. But we talk about the Japanese charts at least once a month. Sometimes multiple weeks throughout a month, but at least once a month. And the go-to that we use for that is Media Create. Media Create is a company that tracks sales data for software and hardware for video games. And Media Create, there was a rumor floating out there last week that I didn't talk about because I didn't believe it, but it came true today. Media Create will no longer be reporting sales data publicly to anyone. So starting in April, we will not be able to give you Media Create numbers unless we're a business and we pay them. We are a business, but I'm not paying them for the numbers. Right. It's not happening.
Yeah.
They will. I think they said they still will release whatever the top 10 software are, but they won't tell you they won't tell you the numbers. And they just they said they won't give the numbers for software, so maybe they're still going to give numbers for hardware. But I imagine that if they're just doing it as a slow roll, like we won't give you software numbers, we'll still give you hardware. They're eventually going to take away hardware numbers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now watch them. They'll tell you the top 10. They won't put it in any specific order.
And conveniently, this happens around the time that Switch would be coming close to passing PlayStation 4. No, Sony didn't pay them to do this. It's just just an interesting point. It's a conspiracy theory I've seen out there. Oh, conspiracy theories. They've been destroying my brain the past 24 hours.
They've been our night.
Oh, my gosh. Creationists and flat earthers.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what to think anymore. I mean, I know what I believe, but I'm just saying.
I don't know what to think anymore.
Okay, my brain is fried. Yes. My brain is fried in some of this stupidity.
Yeah.
That being said, I think we'll still be able to report on numbers because Famitsu magazine still reports sales data as well.
Also, how long do you think it's going to take before somebody who pays for the numbers just
gives them
lets
publicly?
Them go publicly?
I don't know, because I think there'll probably be a stipulation that they can't do that. See, MPD numbers aren't released publicly, right? They don't have like a report you can go look at on a website anywhere that has public MPD data. Mm-hmm. But what you have are guys that work for MPD, like Matt Piscatella. He's an MPD analyst. Mm-hmm. He puts out a lot of the information every single month, and he's allowed to do that. Mm-hmm. So now the MPD doesn't give numbers anymore. Exact numbers anymore, so it's kind of the same thing, but you're able to extrapolate numbers. So basically what happens is MPD used to give numbers. So now when we hear what numbers are, like say we know that Nintendo said they moved 5 million Switches in December. Like Nintendo publicly stated that. And the following December, the MPD report, or the following January, I guess the MPD comes out for December, and they're like, oh, sales for Switch are 25% ahead of last December. Well, if Nintendo told us numbers, we know it's 25% more than that. You can do the math. Mm-hmm. And even if they didn't give you numbers, you can keep going back in the MPD data until there was numbers, mm-hmm. and you can keep extrapolating the data moving forward.
Yeah. Or you can get close enough.
You can
roughly.
You can always basically figure out what the numbers still are because there's
okay.
the data is there. But it's a little more work, but you can still figure it out. Media Create, you won't even be able to figure it out. That being said, Famitsu still gives numbers, so we'll still be able to track and pay attention to Japan. So some people say, what's the big deal? The big deal is that Famitsu numbers are widely considered to not be as accurate as Media Create. Now, the numbers are close. They've always been close. But Famitsu numbers always come out after Media Create, so you often wonder, are they close because they looked at the Media Create numbers before they did theirs? I'm not saying that Famitsu is like, VG charts where they're like making stuff up, but Media Create literally tracked every retailer. Famitsu doesn't track every retailer. So they track some retailers and then they extrapolate for the ones they don't track, which is why they're not as accurate. Mm-hmm. So it will still be able to talk about some numbers, and they're still going to be relatively true, and we'll still be able to make our videos. But the videos will come out later since Famitsu numbers don't come out at the same time. Usually they come out like 12 or 24 hours later. But I think I just think it kind of sucks to see. I mean, I can't blame. Okay, Media Create is the one putting in the time. Right. So I can't blame them for wanting to monetize it.
Right. And it also does.
I mean, MPD monetizes it too. You got to pay to access the report if you actually want to read the
full
report.
And
MPD tracks, by the way, more than video games. So the MPD, it tracks all retail sales of everything in the United States. So
Right. And you wonder. Oh crap! Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
I lost my train of thought. Fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, better not do that. Probably get copyright strike for that.
God dang. I forgot where I was going with it. Keep going.
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry. I'll think about it in about a minute and a half.
In a minute and a half when we're done with the podcast.
Yeah,
I don't really have anything else. I don't like that they're doing it, but I can't change it. So.
I told you. I'd think about it in a second.
You said a minute and a half.
I was close enough. You wonder. It also depends on how much they're actually charging for it too. I mean, if it's. I mean, yes, it's anything. Anything
like
better than free. Anything better. Anything. That's more than free is crappy. But
I just don't like it's not public anymore.
Right.
And that they probably won't let businesses put it public if they pay for it.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird because if you pay for the data, why?
Well, because
I guess
because if you put it public, why would all the businesses have to pay for it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So I get why. I don't know. I mean, they can do what they want. It's their data. Yeah. We've been so accustomed to getting it from them for years. It's been years. I mean, I think it's been over a decade that we've been getting media created numbers. Like, it feels so weird it's like the end of an era. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like if E3 ever gets canceled. Some people already feel like it's the end of an era for E3 because Sony's not going to be there. Right? And like Sony's always been there, and now they're not going to be there. So for some people if Sony never comes back to E3, that does feel like end of era. Well, even Microsoft. And Microsoft's doing a press conference, but they're not at the show floor.
On the E3 show floor.
They're at their own building.
They're
granted
doing it at the same
your
time.
Your E3 pass that you pay for, whether it's a gamer pass or whether you have a media pass for the E3 convention that gets you in. So there's obviously some sort of partnership, and I'm sure the ESA gets some sort of money. Mm-hmm. But not the same as obviously they would get if Microsoft had a booth inside the convention center still. But to be fair, Microsoft's theater, Nokia Theater, is like what, a block and a half away.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It just sucked that by the time we walked all the way there, it was closed.
Right.
But that was our bad.
But at that point in time, though, we were pretty much done.
That was our bad.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if we didn't have to wait in line for Pokemon twice. Yes, I forgot my badge.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had media passes.
Yeah, there's that.
Wouldn't have been a problem.
There's that.
Would have been done with everything on day one.
Hey, E3, change your YouTube credential policy. Yeah.
I mean, I get they don't want to let everyone in, but man, why is it easier to get in with websites than it is to get in with YouTube? That shows your lack of respect towards YouTubers. And you know what? I say that, and they'll be like, fine, we'll fix it. Now websites are harder to get in.
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah. No.
That's not what I meant.
No.
That's not what I meant.
No.
Now instead of it being 10,000 hits per month to get one person in, it'll be 50,000 hits a day.
Yeah, right.
Just like it is for you.
Stop giving them ideas.
They don't watch our stuff. I haven't applied yet because I'm afraid of being rejected.
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, I'm just like, okay, I don't think the website's going to qualify for even one badge. But, I mean, if we can get one badge, we're going. Yeah. For sure. Because whatever, we'll just buy one gamer pass. And we just need the one badge to get our equipment in.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. And then you can kind of do whatever you need to do. And we'll have the tripod.
Yeah.
Because you can bring a tripod, so I can technically record my own stuff, so it won't be that bad.
Right.
But then we could do all of the vloggy stuff or all of the interviews. You know, we can do that once the other person gets in.
Yeah.
Plus, if I can debating this year on like bringing a nice mic with that I hook into the camera, because I have a cord that'll hook into the camera.
Yeah.
Whether or not it sounds good, I don't know because I've never tested. But I'm assuming it'll sound good.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or I get a setup that goes on top like the Rode mic does.
Yeah. I mean, did we ever really test the Rode mic?
The Rode mic has been tested several times since the trip. It worked fine for the whole trip. Yeah. It broke on the way home.
Gotcha.
And now I don't know. Again, what I'm not sure about is if it's the mic or the mic port. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I plugged in the lav mics into the mic port and had issues. But the lav mics are different. They're weird microphones. Mm-hmm. So you have to use a converter to even make them work on a camera.
Fantastic.
So I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'll probably just buy another Rode mic, and I'll just buy a nicer one that's not so cheap. But I do want to figure out, obviously, if the port's broken before I do that.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll try an XLR cable into it, although it won't be as good because these need power. But it still works without power. It's just not as loud. But I just need a way to test it to make sure there's no static.
For sure.
I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll find someone around here who has like a cheap Rode mic for $20 and just plug it in and find out. I've tried a different cable, so I know it's not cable.
Okay.
Anyways, I think that's it. I don't really have much else to say. I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess really, like I said,
it makes my job harder and less accurate. Yeah. And I don't like that.
Until you find out it's actually relatively cheap, and
even then, I don't like it.
Well, right. I'm not saying you.
And even if it's relatively cheap, I gotta convert currency to yens, and Got to use Google to translate it to like Japanese, and I'm trying to talk to him.
I'm sure you're fine.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Because English does not translate well to Japanese.
Yeah, so I'm sure.
Very difficult translation. The people that do it, like Bill Trinan,
yeah,
kudos, because I can't do that crap.
Right.
It all sounds in a way that if I say it, it's going to sound very racist, but that's what it all sounds to me.
Yes.
I can't help it. It's just what it sounds.
Please do not say it.
It's what it sounds like. I can't.
Yes,
like,
I know.
Every time I hear Miyamoto or someone talk, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It is the biggest gibberish. But like we sound like gibberish to them. So
yeah.
So I mean,
I sound like gibberish to me. So
I sound like gibberish right now.
yeah.
This entire podcast was a bunch of gibberish.
It kind of was.
You guys are all here just because it's a giveaway in the title.
Yeah, probably.
So let's just be honest. I think that's what